Okay, so I've set the camera up on my shoulder here, so hopefully this will make sense to you. Um, so there's a lot of different ways that you can hold your yarn when you're crocheting. If something isn't comfortable, um, definitely just kind of keep trying stuff until it works. Also keep in mind though, if you're not used to crocheting, and this is true for like knitting or a lot of other like handwork things, you probably need to take a break roughly every hour at least. I tell some beginners to go every 30 minutes when you're starting because none of your muscles and tendons and everything in your hands and wrists are used to doing this stuff. So, okay, so there's, if you're a right-handed crocheter, I'm going to get just a couple chains going here. And this is how I hold my yarn. So I hold it in the left hand. I gather, oops, get the tail out of there. I gather with these 3 fingers the yarn, so that's how I can hold it to tension it. And then my finger and thumb pinch either where I'm working or they pinch the yarn depending on what I'm doing. So I'm just reaching into this little hole between those fingers you see to grab the yarn and pull it up. Okay, so that's how I hold my yarn most of the time. Every once in a while, like if it's a really slippery yarn or something and I think I want extra control, then I do this where I wrap it over under those fingers, but then I'm still doing the pinch. Okay, so that's my preferred. Some people, though, that are right-handed knitters, and this might work better for you since you're used to manipulating the yarn with your right hand, you can either switch the hook, of course, and try different grips with that right hand. And then to help you with that, look up left-handed crocheting. But you can hold the yarn with the same hand that you are crocheting with. And let me turn here and get started. I find the chain, a lot of people do, part is sort of fiddly, and that's where I need a little more like kind of help control, and then you get to be a little more loosey-goosey once you've got the chain established in that first row done. So I just wanted to get a couple quick things in here. So my grandmother held hers more over these fingers, which I think is kind of what you were talking about, where she was holding her finger out straight. And she was also a right-handed crocheter. Oops, camera slipped. Let me put that back up. Sorry about that. So, okay, I've got a couple stitches to work into now here. So, when I'm knitting, I tension my yarn and knit in my right hand, and I actually do a version of flicking. So with my knitting needles, I'm making this kind of a gesture, right? So I usually keep this finger hooked so that the yarn stays in between these knuckles. So now that you're ready to pull up a loop, you wrap the yarn with that finger rather than using the hook and pull loops through that way. So again, wrap it around just like with throwing. Wrap it around the hook, then pull the hook through. And the other thing, if you're finding you have to kind of like over control or super grip your yarn, what you may find helpful is to twist the hook. So I usually put it through with the hook facing up so it doesn't snag anything on the underside as it goes through. But then when I go to pull it back, I actually twist it down. I think you can see that on that part of the computer there. So, but that way you're using your finger. So if this is what you're talking about, that you have trouble with that, try the other hand. Because like I say, I do normally throw, oh, and that's another option. You can wrap the yarn around your pinky once and then still, kind of hold your fingers Like to me, this is more a relaxed grip whenever I'm holding the yarn this way. So that might be the trick, is that even though you're a thrower, you may actually find it helpful to hold the yarn in your left hand instead. And I think it's because of the way you're manipulating the hook. So hopefully those give you some other things to try. Good luck! If you have any questions, let me know.